afternoon.
125, 135.
We would like to welcome you this afternoon to what we think is a very important message. My name is Neil Strobel. I'm the police chief here in the city of Merrill. And typically, when I wear a white shirt, it's because the event that we're attending is really significant. And I can't stress that enough this afternoon about the importance of the message that we hope you get today. There's been a lot of people that have put a lot of effort into this training opportunity, if you will, and you'll get a chance to meet them during this afternoon. But I thought to myself as I was preparing remarks for this afternoon that each time we do this, we end up having a pretty windy day. And we've been very fortunate in the past several years that our message seems to have been heard. We have had very few crashes involving you as drivers and alcohol or speed. And I thank you for whatever part of reducing that pattern you are each responsible for. You know, I know that each of you have gone through the DARE program, and that is a training program that our officers participate. And over the years, we've changed the focus from drug abuse resistance to violence prevention. And one of the themes that seems to be real important to all of us here today deals with peer pressure, decision making, and taking risks. Now, in law enforcement, this is a neat profession. This is the only profession that I would dedicate 30 years of my life to. It involves risk, and as a result of that, we train to minimize the chances that the officers will be hurt. That's what I've envisioned our experience here today, is a training that will minimize the opportunity for you to be hurt and for my officers and the fire department and EMS personnel to respond to crashes. You know, it's a beautiful day out. This is the first time that many of you have probably had an opportunity to enjoy the new bleachers that don't have the 2-foot-high steps, and you can manipulate through them a little easier. But it dawns on me that most days when there's a tragedy, those days started out as a very enjoyable day. The sun was out, you went and got a prom dress, or you went and got your flowers. There's just a ton of things that happen that are very good preceding the events that you're about to see. So what I'd ask you to do right now is to divorce yourself of all your other senses with the exception of hearing, okay? In other words, I want you to close your eyes and just listen to the events, only taking in information through your ears right now.
Gonna check what happened. Hold on.
Spencer. Oh my God.
You guys okay?
It's okay.
You guys all right?
You're gonna be all right. They hit us.
God. Off, guys. Let the parents. Dana, you. Dana, you
Oh my God.
Dana, are you okay?
Dana, wake up.
Dana, are you? She's okay. She's gonna be fine.
Dana! It's not moving.
Get back.
What happened?
What happened?
I don't know.
I ran the stop. Have you been? I didn't mean to.
Lincoln County 911, what's your emergency?
There's been an accident.
Where is the crash at?
Right up by Taco Bell. A 64 and a
Taco Bell by Merrill on Highway 64?
Yeah.
Okay, how many people are hurt?
It's an accident. What do you think? The trap. It's no. Holly, stay. There's 4 people. What is the matter with you?
Okay, there's 4 people hurt.
Is she all right?
Okay, can you tell me if anybody's trapped in the vehicle?
Yeah, there's 2. There's 2 in the back. One just got up.
Okay, has anyone been ejected from the vehicle?
Yeah, there's one. Yeah, one's lying right in front.
Okay, you stay there. We'll get help on the way.
Help's coming.
How did this happen? How did this happen?
Lincoln Sheriff 901 to Merrill Fire Department Ambulance. You're needed at Highway 64 and County Road W. William for a motor vehicle crash with injury. Reported to be multiple injury. 1 person is trapped. 1 person is ejected.
Wake up. Come on.
Is she okay?
I don't know.
What's it mean?
What happened? Is she all right?
Sheriff Unit 125, Merrill Unit 166, please respond to a crash with injury. 64 and W, reported entrapment and 1 ejected.
Please. What's wrong?
Man, I didn't mean to.
Sheriff 125, 10-4 in row.
Driving? Yeah. I was.
166, 1076.
We missed the stop sign. We just missed the stop sign. That's all we did.
I swear.
10-4, 125, 166.
I swear I stopped. How could this happen?
Were you all drinking? Not only a little. It was just a little.
It was just a little bit.
What about the guy?
Dude, it was just a little bit. And I didn't.
Sheriff 166, 10-4.
10-4, 166.
She's gonna be fine. Don't worry.
Gotta be okay.
What happened?
I don't know. I pulled up and
What's her name?
Dana. It was an accident.
Dana, can you hear me? Dana, can you hear me?
You know what you've done? Yeah, sorry. It was
Sheriff 166.
This is gonna ruin me. My parents are gonna kill me. I know. Don't worry. It's so now.
Sheriff 166, advise EMT
Sheriff 125, 1023.
Is she gonna be okay?
10-4, 125, 66, repeat your traffic.
at 161 response of other people around protecting the other one.
Lincoln Sheriff Medic 1.
You all right?
What happened?
Okay.
I think my head hit the steering wheel or something.
Anything else?
I just woke up and everything was all bloody and you guys hear him here.
All right, we're gonna help you, Dan. All right, so just settle down, okay?
Medic 1 driving.
Just stay down. Just take
10-4 Medic 1 for
Okay,
officer.
time to relax, all
Possible
right?
pulseless, not breathing.
Is there anything else that's hurting on you right now?
My arm.
Your arm? Okay.
But I'm okay. I really am okay. I just need a helper. I just need to get up.
What I need for you, what I need for you is to stay down, okay? Just please stay down, all right?
125
That's
Sheriff.
what you do for yourself.
One
Just
pulse is
stay
non-breather.
down, all right?
Are you okay?
Stay with
We've got
me.
one
We're
small
gonna
child,
okay, we're gonna get some help
approximately 8
for
years
you.
of age,
I want you to just stay and keep her home, okay?
unknown injury. We've got one female, about 16 years of age, severe
You guys okay?
right leg injury.
Okay, which car were you in?
Both parties are breathing.
Okay, you're okay. You guys
10-4,
are okay.
125. Medic 1 from Lincoln Sheriff. You have 2 critical patients on
this
scene,
happen?
including a young
What are you
child,
guys doing?
1 pulseless non-breather.
Okay. I'm gonna have you stand over here for a second.
Okay, just, who you have?
We've got one P&B, right leg injury, about 8-year-old unknown injury.
10-4, rescue
This
1.
party here.
Anybody hurt your vehicle at all? I'm gonna check out.
Just scratches.
John, do you wanna, okay. All right. Why don't you guys just stay put over here, okay?
Positive PNB.
We're checking on it. Someone's gonna come give her help, okay?
Check the lady here out.
Okay, but don't leave.
Oh, what is your name, ma'am?
What happened?
We were driving and
What happened?
this van came out of nowhere and everything just was a blur and I woke up and everything was.
You,
I didn't combine and
Not breathing. Want to get up, get cover him and something else?
my friends and we can't be dead.
Does anything hurt right now, Holly? Can you tell me what hurts right now, Holly? Your head. Your head and your arm. Okay. We're gonna get
Just don't look. Just don't look. Just don't look.
you having any problems breathing at this time?
I just can't get my hair. Everything feels tight.
Okay.
What's wrong with her?
John, you want to get a longboard? Want to get me a longboard and a collar for Holly here?
I don't
I'm going to try to get a set of vitals here quick.
Yep. Yep.
Why?
How can this happen?
Wake up.
Yeah, it's
Wake up.
stabilization with her head, hold her head still.
What's wrong with Dana?
I swear,
you got so far?
stop. Stop at the sign.
I don't know. I was sleeping.
Try and keep your head down. Your blood pressure's a little low. You got to worry about some internal bleeding here.
Right now. I'm 18.
Okay, what we're going to do, Holly, is we're going to have you lay down on the ground, and we're going to put you on the longboard.
Okay. Don't say it hurts.
Everything's tiny off. My leg and my arm.
There is no major bleeding at this time, so just want to at least get her lie down. She has an open abrasion to her head and to her arm this time, and possible internal bleeding. Okay, Holly, can you lie down, please? Can you lie flat
Give me
for
the
us?
cop. Open fracture on her right leg. Okay. Get tight. We got flight on the way.
Okay, yeah, we're going to...
125 from Sheriff. The Spirit of Marshall helicopter has a 2-minute ETA. Please advise if landing zone is secure.
We're going to slide the board under her and roll her back onto the board.
Sheriff on 2510-4, landing zone is secure.
Copy. Landing zone secure. Will advise.
Any pain or anything on your back? Does it hurt when it rests down there? Okay, roll her back and see who's count. 1, 2, 3. Okay, on your count, we'll slide her over. Okay.
Hey.
There we go. Keep on board.
She looks like she's going to be fine.
Okay.
Want to grab a side? We'll get her on
Anything else? Take her right to the ambulance.
Why aren't they helping Dana? Why aren't they gonna? Is Dana okay? Where's Dana?
Try
Holly!
everything they can.
You another cop?
They're trying everything.
No, they're not. I think they're...
You want to take her to the ambulance right away?
Let me go by, please.
You're doing okay, Holly, right now. We have the helicopter coming in. You're going to hear a lot of noise right now. But we need the helicopter to fly you out because of your injury.
Why aren't they helping?
Go ahead, 166.
Is Jess okay?
10-4, 166. We'll contact coroner.
Okay. Let me know. I got it. It's my fault. Everybody okay?
10-4, could you check if you go on 5, 235 up?
Why did they bring the helicopter? Why? Like what happened?
What happened to Dana though?
Is everybody okay? Dana's okay, right?
Got her?
Who is that? Who is that? Who is that? Who are they talking? How is this happening?
What's wish I knew. I was 6'1.5".
What's wrong with Dana? Just relax, okay? It's fine.
You gotta settle down. It's okay. It's okay.
No.
You're gonna be okay.
Do me a favor, man.
You already did.
Don't worry about it, okay?
Come over for a second.
What? Spencer. No.
Driving on the vehicle?
Yeah.
What happened?
I was just driving. And we got to the stop sign, and I swear I stopped. But I don't know how it happened. It just happened.
You got a driver's license I can see? The oxygen is in the ambulance at this point.
I have it with me.
What's your name? Okay.
My name is Spencer.
She has
Mika.
it's in all four extremities, little tingling in her left hand.
What's your,
No deformities, no
Jay.
pain in the back at this time. Her abdominal area is rigid.
Why don't you step back over here? Just step back over here. We're just talking to the driver. Were you guys passengers with him?
What's your address?
I noticed that there's some alcohol containers in the back. Were you guys drinking?
Not much.
Okay. What about him?
Only a couple.
Only a couple. Okay.
He was
Like
fine. He was
2 glasses, 3 glasses?
I don't remember.
Okay. Just sit here. We'll be right back with you, okay?
What's your phone number?
539 0714.
So I want you to stand right here for a second.
You okay? You okay?
I don't really know. Oh, sit down. Sheriff 166, you have a key for the
Where?
How you doing, Holly?
166 corner will be en route. Should be there shortly.
Yep, we got her.
I don't know, man. I don't know,
See where I
man.
be, okay? Watch out.
I didn't mean to. It was an accident.
Why don't you guys sit down for a little bit here? Take it easy.
Why's the helicopter here?
Helping one of the people hurt.
Okay. Is everybody gonna be okay?
Everyone's getting the best help that they can right now.
Okay. Because I didn't mean to. I didn't.
Spencer, I can smell on your breath that you smells like you've been drinking an alcoholic beverage. You been drinking it all? Just had a couple cups of what? Okay. What I'd like for you to do is to step over by my squad over here.
Okay.
Follow me.
Okay.
We'll be right back. Just wait there. We're just going to talk to him.
Okay, right here. Okay, first of all, you got a little cut to your head. Anything
Yeah.
else? You lose consciousness or anything like that?
No.
I've got a couple of tests that I want you to do, all right?
Okay.
First one is really simple. Can you recite the English alphabet? You know the English alphabet?
Yes, I
Can you
do.
recite it all the way through from A to Z, please?
Yeah. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, UVWXYZ.
Okay, next test I want you to do is just hold one hand out like this. Use your thumb, start with your small finger, go 1, 30, okay, just watch me first. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, then go 4, 3, 2, 1. Touch each fingertip with your thumb.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Do you have any recent injuries to your legs, hips, or back, or anything like that?
No.
Any physical disabilities?
No.
Okay. What I want you to do is just watch me for a couple minutes, okay?
Okay.
When I tell you to, I want you to get on this white line here, on the fog line.
Okay.
I want you to stand just like this, heel to toe. All right.
Okay.
When I tell you to begin, okay, get in that position, please. Okay. When I tell you to begin the test, I want you to just walk 9 steps heel to toe, just like this.
Okay.
Each step out loud. When you get to the 9th step, I want you to make a pivot turn, just like this.
Okay.
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 Walk back to the original starting point.
Okay.
I want you to keep your arms down while you're walking and count each step out loud. Do you understand that test?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Begin it, please.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay. Make a pivot turn and walk back.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9.
Okay. Last test I want you to do is stand, keep your hands at your sides, lift one foot off the ground, point your toe to the ground like this.
Okay.
Count to 30 going 1001, 1002, 1003. Go to 1030 or till I tell you when to stop.
Okay.
You understand?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, please begin.
Okay. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009.
Okay, just stop the test, okay? All right, just relax. Now, how much did you have to drink tonight?
I only, it was like 2 or 3.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 17 years old.
Okay, you're in the legal age to drink, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you stand with this officer right here? I'll be back in a second.
Okay.
Don't hit it.
It's gonna be okay.
No, I know, we're just gonna be okay. Hold on.
He needs to come back over here. I know.
Okay, Spencer, what this is a preliminary breath tester. I want you to, when I tell you, I want you to blow in here until I tell you when to stop, all right?
Okay.
And right now it's reading 00.
Okay.
Okay? Blow. Okay. Okay, in the state of Wisconsin, do you know what the legal limit is for you to drive it? At your age of 17? It's
can't remember.
.00. Okay, you can't
Okay.
drive. You can't
Okay.
drink and drive. The test is .12. So at this point, I'm placing you under arrest for operating a motor vehicle while under influence of an intoxicant. What I'd like you to do is turn around, please. Put your hands behind your back.
Well,
Turn around, please.
it was an
Hands behind your
accident.
back.
Though.
What?
I'm sorry. I was an accident.
We can't. No. No. I mean, we didn't do anything wrong. No.
Relax for a second.
You have anything in your pockets?
What's this? Okay. Walk back to my squad, please.
No.
Sheriff 125, anywhere on 1079.
I know it's easier for one end of the bleachers to hear with the wind. So let me give you a quick synopsis of what just happened. We bring this visual effect to you in hopes that you never come upon an accident like this or are part of a crash. My officers make a lot of traffic stops, and not all of you get citations. Hopefully some of you get warnings, but that's designed to do one thing, and that is to change behavior. We don't want you speeding because these injuries and these crashes largely involve speed. So Officer Heckendorf and the other responding personnel have now stabilized the situation and have conducted the investigation to determine that the driver, one of the drivers of the vehicles, was under the influence of alcohol or drugs, and that's why he was arrested. That's only the scene here, right out at the traffic crash. But on the grass right behind me is Mom and Dad, who are still having that good day. They have no idea what's about to happen and how their lives will be changed. Many times we do things and we take a risk, but we don't really recognize that our risk involves many more people than just us, our families, our friends. And so we'll go back to the scenario as it unveils now.
We need to start talking around the camera. Yes, it is. Yep.
Just to talk to Jess. It could have only been a second. And then I didn't even say goodbye. My parents are expecting me home soon. Who's going to tell them I'm not coming back? And my grandma just flew in for graduation tomorrow.
What do you want, at first?
Graduation. It would have been wonderful. Everyone would be celebrating. I wanted to say just the right words in my speech. I wanted to impact everyone there. I guess I still am. Just not the way I thought. All my friends and family, all those people I love will be there. I only hope they knew how much I appreciated and loved them. I'll never be with them again. Never have dinner with my family, laugh and talk with them. Never have a girls' night, no camping, water skiing, no more dancing or singing or laying out by the pool. I'll never do any of those things again. And to think of all the things I haven't had the chance to do yet. I was supposed to go off to college in the fall. I didn't have a major yet, but I knew I wanted to help people. Maybe a lawyer or a therapist. I had so much left to experience. An entire lifetime. I'll never be married or have children of my own. I don't understand. I wasn't drinking. And why would Spencer? How could he do something so senseless? And why would the others let him? I've known Balo since we were little. I can't believe he'd make such a dumb decision. I hope he and the others are okay. This is supposed to be such a happy time, and now it's ruined by a selfish decision to drink and drive. Jess and Holly and I were just taking McKenna out for a movie. She giggled through the entire movie, which made us giggle. Well, for Holly, it was more like a roar. I'm going to miss her so much. I didn't want my friends to have to go through this, especially right before graduation. I like to make people feel happy, not bring on pain and sadness. And my family? Is this how my brother was supposed to start his new life after college? With the murder of his baby sister? Just doesn't seem fair. I didn't want this for anyone. I didn't even get to say goodbye.
Dana should be home soon.
I would think so. The movie got over at 8:30.
We have a big day tomorrow. I
don't
hope she
we?
gets home early.
Yeah,
I'm so excited. It's a big day for us.
Mr. and Mrs. Schleif,
Yes?
I'm Deputy Pete Anders from the Lincoln County Sheriff's Department. I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but your daughter Dana was killed in a traffic crash. I'm sorry.
They've just gone to a movie. They're at the movies, aren't they?
She's graduating tomorrow. It isn't Dana.
No,
No.
I'm very sorry to have to bring you this bad news.
I need
No.
to see her. I need to see her. It can't
Where
be Dana.
where
No.
can we see her?
You can go to the Wade Funeral Home. That's where she's been taken.
No.
Is there someone that I can contact for you? Minister, good friends, family members?
Yeah, well, let's just go see Dana.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll give you a ride there.
Okay.
Unless you like wearing them.
Not really.
In doing this law enforcement profession for 30 years, what you just saw, that parent notification of a death of their child, it's the worst thing possible. I can tell you that no matter how we train and prepare for that, it's still the most difficult thing we do. And ours is only a minor part of that. We walk in, we make the notification, and then we back out of the situation. Think of what's left behind at this particular point. You know, bad things do happen to good people all the time. You've heard it said, it's not fair. Why me? It shouldn't have happened to me. I didn't deserve that. Well, in our scenario that unfolded here, the people that were injured weren't necessarily the ones at fault, were they? They weren't drinking. They didn't make the poor decision. They just inherited the consequences. So most tragedies start on a good day. Now, there are many other things that are happening behind the scenes, and I think at this particular point I'd like to give you some other perspectives that happen after the cars are removed from the traffic crash and after the injured people are transported. Dr. Kreinig, can I ask you to share with the audience today what happens after the fact?
The only parents that you saw here were the parents of the girl who had died. There were several other injured, and those parents' days are going to change dramatically too. When McKenna and Jessica arrived at the emergency department at Good Samaritan, their injuries were severe and McKenna's potentially life-threatening. She wasn't able to breathe on her own and she was unconscious. When she arrived at the emergency department, we needed to put a tube in her throat to breathe for her, and one of her lungs was collapsed, requiring us to put a tube through her chest to help re-expand the lung. Despite that, she didn't come around because she was having internal bleeding. It required us to take her emergently to the operating room to stop the bleeding and prevent her death. Jessica also was seriously injured. She had a major fracture to the femur, which is the thigh bone, and that required her to go to surgery as well. And she will have a prolonged recovery time, having to learn how to walk again. So it's not just the person who died here, it's also the people who are injured.
And those were the people that were transported from the scene by the ambulance. We also have people whose injuries were much more significant, if that's possible. And consequently, flight was called in, and I'd like to have Matt or someone from the paramedic crew of the Spirit address what would happen in these situations.
That's okay. I'm Jenny. I'm a flight nurse with the Spirit of Marshfield. This is Matt Ryba. He's a paramedic. We work as a nurse-paramedic team, and we're called out, unfortunately, to things like this all the time. And you just hope that the outcomes are positive in the fact that you can leave our hospital or nothing happens in transport. Injuries to the head, neck, chest, abdomen, stomach do require a quick flight to Marshfield. We also have the only pediatric intensive care unit which would take care of your age group. In flight, what we try to do is stabilize you, give IV fluids. If need be, we have to intubate and give you an airway just to save you and keep you alive to get there to further help.
The flight isn't long. It was a 20-minute flight. That's the nice part about air. You know, there's unfavorable times, weather, that, you know, sometimes you have to go by ground. And when you're going out and you're going to have a good time, don't think it's not going to happen to you. Don't think that this one time won't kill me, because it can, and it could. So always keep that in the back of your mind so that you're not one of our patients. We'd much rather meet you like this instead of the back of the aircraft. So.
Thank you both for coming today and for all the times that you've assisted us in the past.
Thank you.
Well, other people left the scene that didn't require medical attention. And so if I can have Alan Wade come up and give you his perspective of the impact of our decisions after the fact in his experience.
By the time Dana's family arrives at the funeral home, they will have been contacted by the coroner as to their wishes, whether they wish to donate any or all of Dana's organs. This is not what this family wants to be talking about. If they do decide to donate organs, then we wait until the team that harvests the organs comes in. When we make funeral arrangements with the family, this is probably the hardest thing that a funeral director has to do, with dealing with the parents of a young student who has lost their life. There are so many questions. There's anger. Why did it happen? Why did I let them go with those other kids? It's always somebody else's fault. But the bottom line is someone has died. I just hope that you all think about this when you go out. If you look to your left, you'll see your rock. You put on there the memories and things that you do. It should be a happy rock. I don't ever want to see your name on there with the letters underneath R.I.P.
Thanks, Alan. Deputy Annis, there you are.
Just like to mention a few things. Spencer, your friend, you saw him get handcuffed after they did the field sobriety test, and he was arrested for operating while under the influence of an intoxicant. Well, you ask, what's going to happen to him? Well, he's not going to college. He's going to prison. He's going to prison for possibly 15 years. When he's done with the 15 years in prison, he'll have 10 years of supervision. That's 25 years out of his life. He'll be convicted of a felony. That's going to follow him around forever. You need to make a conscious choice when you go out, you go to parties. You don't need alcohol to have fun. Last year, there were 7 people killed in Lincoln County, traffic crashes. There were 801 people killed in the state of Wisconsin. Nationwide, there were 43,000 people killed in traffic crashes. There are 3 reasons that people are killed in traffic crashes. Alcohol. People driving after they've been drinking when they shouldn't be behind the wheel. Speed. Everybody likes to drive fast. Well, the old saying stands true. Speed does kill. You couple speed and alcohol together and add the fact that people aren't wearing their seatbelts, you have the 3 main reasons for traffic fatalities in this country. Folks, when you get behind the wheel of a car, fasten your seatbelts. If you've got younger brothers and sisters, especially if they're under the age of 8, on June 1st, a new law goes into effect. Those kids have to be in booster seats or approved child safety restraints. I hope that I never meet any of you at a crash scene like this. I've been doing this for 30 years, as long as Chief Strobel has. We've seen too many of these crashes, and we've made too many notifications. I don't want to talk to your parents. Not in that way. I don't want to have to come to your door and tell you that your parents were killed in a crash. Thanks for being an attentive group.
Thanks, Pete. Steve, are you coming up to say a few words? Steve Hintz from the Merrill Fire Department.
Thanks, Neil. Good afternoon. As Neil said, my name is Steve Hintz, and I'm a lieutenant on the Merrill Fire Department and Ambulance Service. Chris asked me to talk today, I think more because I was actually like you. I was a student in Merrill High School. I went to Merrill High, I walked the same halls that you walked. I wanted to do the same things that you want to do now. I wanted to be liked by the kids, I wanted to be popular. But I needed to make wise choices. And sometimes back then, I don't know if I always did. But right now I consider myself one of the lucky ones, because I'm still here talking to you. When Chris and I first started putting this mock DUI together a couple years ago, we had some of the students give us some feedback on what we could do better to make it better for you, or what we could change. And overwhelmingly, we always saw that they said, this is not real. It's fake, it's put on. And at first, I think that we were kind of disappointed and probably somewhat angry by what they thought. But when I started thinking about what I was going to say today, I realized that those students were right. These cars, that accident didn't happen today. They were put there by a wrecker. The people that were injured, the patients, they're just good actors. The blood wasn't real. When you leave the stands today, they're going to go home. They're going to wash the blood off. They're not real. They were fake. The girl that died in the crash, that had the blanket over the top of her, somebody picked that blanket up. She's in the back of the hearse. But she's going to step back out because it's not real. The guy that went to the police car with the handcuffs on, that was fake. It's not real. He's not going to jail. He's not going to go to prison because this whole thing is fake today. That's great for us and it's great for you. However, I can tell you when I'm at the fire station and we get the page like you heard today, and they tell us, Merrill Fire Rescue and Ambulance, we have a 1050 with serious injuries, please respond. 1050 meaning a motor vehicle accident. We're people just like you, and we get a knot in our stomach when we hear that noise. We start to wonder, could that be our family? Could that be my wife or kids? Or could that be my parents? Could it be some of my friends in Merrill? I wonder all the way there, and I'm sure my partners do too. On the way there, we think, how bad are they injured? Can I do anything to help them? Once we get on scene, and I see the crash, I see the broken glass, the twisted, sharp metal, I realize this is real. This is not fake. This is not put on. I'm at the real thing. And it's scary, even for me. When I get out of the car, I go to one vehicle, my partner goes to the other, and I hear him say to Lincoln Dispatch over the radio, would you send a coroner out here? Again, I think to myself, this is real. I'm in the real game, and it happens all the time, way too often. Today we're concentrating on driving while under the influence, but this sort of thing happens for many reasons. Reckless driving, inattentive driving. I drive down the road sometimes nowadays and I see vehicles doing strange things and I think, what is that driver doing? And I get up to that driver and I look, and there's the cell phone in their hand, talking away, not paying attention to what's in front of them. Other things that people do that take their mind or their eyes off the road for just that split second, think about it. Between periods or during lunch hour, you rush to McDonald's, Taco Bell, you got to get back to class in a hurry, or you got to get back to your job. You're going to eat and run, and you all know what it's like. You're taking about the next bite, and you're worried about that taco sauce dripping down your shirt. You don't want to look like a fool when you get back, so you're wiping it off. Where are your eyes for that split second or two? It can change your life forever. Make wise decisions when you're behind the wheel. Anytime you get behind the wheel, if you could remember the time back when you were with a driver's ed instructor, wouldn't it be great if everybody that got behind the wheel drove with the same level of safety, concern, as they did when the driver's ed instructor was sitting right next to them? I know our job, we'd have less accidents and for sure less severe injuries to deal with. So in closing, please, please think about what you do when you get behind the wheel. Also think about what you do when you get in as a passenger. Think about that driver. And no matter what, if you're the driver or the passenger, put that safety belt on. I cannot tell you how my attitude has changed since I've had to go on car accidents. The difference of people with safety belts and the horrific death and injuries I have seen when people haven't worn their safety belts. So please buckle up, drivers and passengers. Be smart, be safe, enjoy your future.
Good job. Thanks. Thanks. So far, we've presented people to you that maybe not all of you have known for the purpose of bringing our expertise into your life. One of the people that is willing to work with us on this event is probably pretty well known to most of you already. And Tom, if I can have you come up and share your observations.
Thanks a lot, everybody. what I'm going to talk about today started out just like Chief Strobel said, an average day. It was Memorial Day, and I was teaching in Milwaukee, and I was driving to practice. We had practice on Memorial Day, and I went from a 2-lane road down to a 1-lane road, and it was a beautiful day like today, sunny. I was the first front, or the car in front of a whole line of cars. And as I was driving in the two-way traffic, a person was bicycling. And they were on the shoulder, there was some gravel, and I didn't think twice of it. And I looked up, the man on the bike flipped off of the bike, an incoming car hit him, and it looked like a deer being hit, but I knew that it was a human being, a person. And it was the scariest thing I've ever seen. The man was thrown into the air, flew under the tire, and the car came to a stop with the front tire laying across his chest. Being the first person on the scene, I pulled over right away. A number of other cars pulled over. We ran out, and the person had incredible bile coming out of his mouth, and we tried to keep our heads safe and understand what was going on. And we ran to the back of the car and tried to get the jack out of the trunk, and the guy's trunk was full of garbage, and we couldn't get that, and more people came, and we just said, we've got to get this car off of this man's chest. And about 9 of us picked up the car, dragged the man out, and again, it was just scary, the adrenaline that was rolling. You could smell the alcohol on the man that was on the bike. It was just a terrible smell. I knew that he had been drinking. Everybody knew the stuff that he was spitting out. And I guess the message of the story is, you know, we maybe want to do something that's right, like, oh, go take a bike ride, and if you drink, there's no consequences. But the bottom line is this man did live, but his life was greatly changed, and so was mine, because I was just a person going to practice, and everything was supposed to be a great day. And in the end, it was a real tragedy. And to see the car on top of the man and to see the accident, it was very scary. So I guess, you know, the best thing that I could say is my weekend advice that I give to my classes, you know, keep it safe and please make good decisions. Thanks.
Thanks, Tom. I appreciate it. You know, a lot of us live in Merrill by choice because it's a safe community, and we don't have a lot of crime, and we don't have drive-by shootings and all the other things that maybe some of the larger cities have to deal with. And that's why we're drawn to this community. But sometimes in my profession, I get the impression that we are too trusting up here. We think nothing will happen. We don't lock our cars. We don't lock our houses. Things are stolen all the time. 200 bicycles a year are stolen in the city of Merrill. So we're a very vulnerable community. And if we get the impression that nothing can happen to us because we're in Merrill, I have to tell you, every day my officers deal with people with that false sense of security. This past year, we've had several incidents involving drivers, classmates of yours. As a matter of fact, while I was back at the station before I came up here, one of my officers said, hey, I almost didn't have to get to the mock crash. He said, I was already at a crash. One of the students today, I think, going for lunch, was in a car crash in the intersection, somewhere in the area of Quick Trip. So it can happen. I have to tell you, if I have an extra officer and I want to assign them to run radar, the street that I assign them to is Thielman Street, because I know that that's the way I'd go out there. Okay, but we also get lots of complaints from the people that live in that area. So I ask you, like everyone else that's had the microphone, to be very careful, to reduce your speed, making good decisions. The parent notification that happened behind us really happens. Today I'd like to pass the microphone to Dustin Hintz, who's a graduate of Merrill High School, and let him share with you the decisions that he made and the road that he's had to recover from since that time. Dustin?
Before I get started, I just want to say thank you to all the people that made the presentation today, because you made me cry for the first time in about 10 years. And, well, what happened to me was I got in a car accident, and me, when my sister and the driver, we were all drinking that night, and he was speeding, I think. I don't remember the accident, but I had a TBI as a result of traumatic brain injury, and well, I have to be dealing with it for the rest of my life. And it's just, I really hate to see anybody else get in this situation. So really, everything that you saw today happened to me, pretty much. I was airlifted from Merrill Hospital to Marshfield, and after I was stabilized here anyway. But it really made me understand kind of what my mom, dad, and sister had to see. Sorry. But, give me a sec. I just want you to know that I am the last speaker, so you're free to go after I'm done with you. But just please listen to me and make it worth my time. Make it worth your time. You don't want to end up where I am, doing what I did. And I think that's about everything. Thank you.
Dustin, you've come a long way. Dustin still has to go through a lot of therapy.